Everything about this movie was a shit show.
Yeah.
It's like behind the scenes.
This movie was an absolute shit show. Lou Grade picked the wrong fucking movie to step into movies with. American cinema, I'm sorry.
And that's all the show we have for you today, ladies and gentlemen. Good night.
Terrible fucking movie.
Hey, the scenery was great and the horses were good.
I could not believe John Barry wrote the soundtrack for this. It's so awful.
Yes, it is.
He got a raspberry for it, so there you go.
And this is what annoyed me even with the new film by Disney, which was atrocious in its own way. That, again, they keep wanting to go back to that theme of the William Tell Overture. And it's like, look, man, you can throw a hint of it in there and you'll make the fans happy. You don't have to do it exactly like the fucking actual overture. The reason why is that is a very period piece. And the minute you put that music into your film, you've converted it to a period piece. And the theme worked good in the 40s, in the 50s, maybe even in the 60s. But it doesn't work today.
I disagree with that.
It's like, what a terrible theme. Terrible theme.
Wow. That's a hot take that even I don't have.
What?
You're calling the overture of Guillermo Tell
I think it's not bad. I don't think it's bad.
You can
have. It doesn't work in a modern film.
No, the way it was played.
You guys
awesome.
can spit into the wind all you want to. The spit goes back at you. That is a period piece. It is a period orchestral piece. You can take elements of it and work it into the theme, but don't use the actual William Tell overture in a modern film and expect it to work. It won't, because it's different. It was written differently than the way we write music today. Orchestral cinematic film. Cinematic film, you cannot use old 40s and 50s music written for film back then today and have it sound right.
Well, that wasn't.
It won't sound
really
right. And that film was written in 1821. 1821.
That's universal.
No, it's
that
not.
Is classic.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. I will remember this. I will remember this.
Now you can take
the Ride of the Valkyries was awesome.
And work them into the theme like they did with that terrible movie, The Green Hornet, where they worked in the Flight of the Bumblebee. They, in fact, did a very jazzy version of it in the 60s version. It was not Flight of the Bumblebee. It was a variation of it to fit with the style of music. And you can do that. But what you can't do is take the classic William Tell overture and throw it completely as is into a modern film and expect it to work. It won't work. It weighs your film down. It takes away from the action, because the music of modern themes since the 70s has changed, actually since the late 60s. It was the late 60s when they changed the way that they scored films, thanks to guys like John Barry, John Williams, etc.
You just said something that I completely agree with. And it's that the moment in which they use the theme in this movie ruins the action. It should have been used at the beginning or at the end.
It should be used as part of, not. You can't use the William Tell overture as an actual theme in a film if it's going to be played exactly as the William Tell overture. I mean, you look at the way they even integrated the Lost in Space theme into the Netflix series. I thought that was clever. And I actually didn't mind what they did in the 90s film because Apollo, I forget their name. They're a synth band. They took the theme and did a real scratchy, edgy version of the theme. Ironically, they used the third season theme and not the first and second theme because the first and second seasons, completely different theme by John Williams. And it's the popular one is the third season.
And they used it on the credits. That was a smart move.
But they used it in a very clever way. And if you do something like that, you can do that. You can get away with it. You can use elements of the William Tell overture and work it in. Possibly, personally, I would slow it down. I would slow it the fuck down because that is a fast fucking song.
Yes, in this movie, it was slowed down.
Can't do that.
It was slowed down in this movie.
Yeah, the movie was slowed down because of the bad direction. What this movie had was great cinematography. The writing was really good. And terrible soundtrack. Just god-awful acting in it. And a film should always be judged that the way you judge a film is a film with a villain is only as good as that villain is. And in this film, you had Christopher Lloyd playing the villain when he was ready to play characters like that, Butch Cavendish. But I think they went off the fucking wall with some of the plots that are in this film. Not the writing, it's the plotting that was problematic. Having him like a general was weird. Bringing Ulysses S. Grant there, great actor playing him. You had some great actors in this film playing dumb characters. Bringing that whole thing, it was so weird. They should have stuck to the original story, which is what you brought up before the show. This was a remake of The Legend of the Lone Ranger, which was a combination of some of the first episodes, which tells the story of the Lone Ranger, how he became the Lone Ranger. The childhood aspect of it, I was okay with that if they'd done it better, but it was really bad. And they did some of the worst casting I've ever seen, despite having some big names associated with this film. Klinton Spilsbury is just, what the fuck were they thinking? This guy, Anima found out he's a photographer.
Klinton he's Spilsbury, not an actor.
He's not even an actor, nor was Michael Horse, although I will tell you, I like Michael Horse. He's best known, not for this film, but he's best known for the TV series
Twin Peaks.
David Lynch did, Twin Peaks. They picked him because he was really pretty. I guarantee you. Really good looking guy, the guy that played Tonto. He looks like a model. He was what was he? A
blacksmith.
Anima, was it? Blacksmith.
He was a blacksmith.
That was what he was.
And he had no idea if he was any good
at
acting, but he was like, yeah, I'm going to try, and if it doesn't work, I'll go take a break or whatever. So.
And you know what? If you have a good cast, your performance is lifted. And that's a fact. Every single person on here who knows cinema knows that if you have a weak actor, the other actors can help that actor pull him up. Pull him up through their performance and help him with his performance. But your two leads in this film aren't actors. And they got a director who thought he was going to be the next David Lean, who directed Lawrence of Arabia, who, just in case you didn't know that, because he thought he was going to make the next Lawrence. Yeah, never directed another film again. Klinton Spilsbury never made another TV show or film, to my knowledge.
Well, he got 3
awards. The kid who played Tonto,
worst actor, so.
Yeah, Michael Horse went on, but you've got actors in here like Matt Clark, great character actor, Christopher Lloyd as Butch Cavendish. I think that Amy Stryker, not a very good actress. She was what I remember her most for was being one of the love interests for Banachak. And I don't think she's a very good actor. Then you got Jason Robards as President Ulysses Grant. You've got John Bennett Perry. Now, you guys may not know this guy, but what he's best known for is as the Old Spice sailor, the original commercials, Old Spice. That was him. He is also the father of Matthew Perry from Friends. Then you've got fucking Richard Farnsworth as Wild Bill Hickok in the film, who I fucking love that guy. Great fucking actor. Started out as a stuntman and didn't become an actor until he's in his fucking 50s. Everything fell flat, Gambit. Everything fell flat about this film. The marketing fell flat. The film just completely failed. It was going up because 1981 was a tough year. Absolutely. Everything had problems with this film. Everything. Because going into making this film, they started production on this thing and they were already having legal issues because they chose to fight a war on two fronts. They went up against
Klinton
what's his name? Klinton Moore. Yeah, to fight him because they didn't want people confused, thinking that he was coming back as the Lone Ranger. The motherfucker was almost 70 years old. Nobody had any aspirations of him becoming. That was a stupid fucking fight. And he wasn't doing anything but going to charity events and public events, putting the mask on. And fans loved it. He had a huge fan following. Why would you do damage to your own production by fighting him? It was just stupid. At least they were smart not to do that with Adam West with Batman in '89, because Adam West had a campaign going against Batman. Batman needs to be fun. It needs to be cheeky. He's a hero. He's not dark. And people go, that's his nickname, the Dark Knight. Are you fucking kidding me, Adam West? Are you fucking? And they let him destroy himself, whereas Klinton wasn't doing that. Moore was just going around to events, having been the Lone Ranger of the old days. And this lawsuit was frivolous, it was stupid, and it was mean-spirited, and it fucked this movie up right from the get-go. And Lou Grade, I feel bad for Lou Grade. Lou Grade's like, look, man, I want to get into American filmmaking. Space 1999 did fairly well, so to BBC and BBC America. So I think I'm going to get into American films. And he chose this one, this stinker. Wow. This is one of those films that gets my hackles up because so many fuck-ups were involved in the making of this film. Why would you not try to get Kurt Russell? Was one of the guys supposedly in the running for this. What were some of the other ones, Anna? You brought up some great names.
Well, I told you they
said that the mask looks weird. If you're, go ahead.
I told you there's a delay. I told you.
Oh, we know that.
Yeah, but I can hear now.
Okay. They kept him because he looked pretty with the mask, because when your eyes are too close together, the mask looks stupid. So on him, it looked good. But that was literally the only reason. He had no experience acting. He acted like he was a superstar. He had trouble memorizing his lines. He wouldn't act his lines. It was as if he was reading the script. That's why they dubbed him in the end. And that was one of the main publicity problems.
And they dubbed him with a much better actor.
People were not happy. Yeah.
Well, here's the funny part. They dubbed him with a much better actor, but they still had James Keach delivering the lines flatly. They're flat lines. He still delivered them flat. It's like, why would you hire a superior actor to do the voiceover and then have him deliver the lines flat?
Yes, I couldn't understand that too. Well,
it made no sense. And by the way, one of the worst scenes, you guys tell me what you think. The scene in the stagecoach at the beginning sounds like he's in a fucking tunnel. Everybody else sounds normal, except for James Keach's voiceover. Sounds like he's talking through a fucking tunnel.
his ADR is atrocious, and it's not only on the stage, coach. It's during the whole movie. Now,
and nobody, to my knowledge, has ever seen footage of Clinton Spilsbury's voice before it was dubbed. To my knowledge, no one outside of the film production has ever heard it.
Interesting.
Oh,
they
John
destroyed
Carter's
the tape,
a
I
great
guess. It was so
fucking
bad.
movie.
You wanted to know the other
another
actors.
thing.
Gary,
He
the
was
other
delivering
actors
the lines like he
considered
was reading
were
them.
Stephen Collins, Nicholas Guest, and Bruce Boxleitner.
Stephen Collins is mildly, he's got a lazy
Bruce.
eye. You know, he's got a lazy eye. Yeah, John Carter's a great fucking movie, period. We do need to do that film because I fucking love that movie. And the reason that movie got screwed and why it tanked was because Bob Iger took all of the money that was supposed to be spent on marketing that film and put it into buying Star Wars. Fact. Keith and I have talked about this shit. Iger screwed John Carter. So anyway, so I see Monkey Jeebus is here. Fuck you, man. Where you been? We miss you, man, when you're not around.
We missed you.
1981 and 2013 versions. Okay, but Snort, let me explain something. The 1981 version sucked because of a completely different reason. It was underwhelming, whereas the 2013 version went overboard with everything. They put comedy where it didn't belong. They turned the Lone Ranger into a joke, and they insulted. It's the first Tonto that wasn't American Indian. Disney did that. Yeah, you know, Disney, the woke company, did that in the midst of them being woke. Hired a non-indigenous American Indian actor to play an American Indian. Didn't think there was going to be any blowback from that.
Well, he has a little percentage of American native in his DNA.
Yeah, it's probably like in the tip of his penis. Just
Jesus.
very small amount.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, it's like somebody go, well, I'm 1/60th, and I'm like, which part of you is that 1/60th? Where's it found? In your foot? Somewhere? Where's it at? So, because I'm less than 1%, slightly under 1%, Chippewa or Ojibwe, and because I have Ojibwe in the family, but I got very little. My grandfather had the most, other than his dad, who didn't like.
We have someone new.
Benadryl. It sounds like a medication you take when you're not feeling too
yes.
well. I'm going to down me some Benadryl.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you,
Really
Benadryl.
does.
Welcome to the show.
Hope you like it.
Over to the far right side, that is my buddy Mephisto. Mephisto makes it a point to never watch the movies we're going to talk about. He's here. His job, as he sees it, is to derail me.
You know why I don't watch anything you cover, at least on Wednesdays. I don't have time.
You don't have time. You're working a fucking job. And you get
a real life job. I have kids on my ass. Can barely concentrate to make a script. And I'm trying not to talk today because you're already at 120. So I'll wait until you're done.
Well, besides, you have to admit it, Meph. You like to be the gremlin of the show.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I told you, I'm the comic relief. Joe's the serious one.
Oh, yeah. I'm just so
Hi,
serious.
Juliet.
Yeah.
Why so serious, Joe?
Why so serious? Oh.
See?
What am I then? The one with the
I don't-
notes?
I don't want to
Yes,
say
what's
the
the
cat
boy-
lady, but whatever.
Oh, I am.
The
I am
movie
Miss
was
Johnson.
devoid of humor. Ironically,
Absolutely.
the movie was a joke.
Yeah, but they didn't want anything funny in this movie. Nothing at all. And this is why it's boring, despite having action. And it feels like 3 hours when you watch it.
It aggregates to the boringness, but it's not only that. Believe me. They padded this movie with many things that went nowhere and that were unnecessary.
If they had done the original story, like you brought up earlier, the original Lone Ranger film, and done the story as is, it would have worked. I think this would have worked, even with a bad actor. But I don't know, man. Casting two unknowns as the two leads that are going to work off each other, you had problems doing that because they have nobody to uplift them. You got two guys that don't even know if they can act.
They weren't even actors. So, and then you have a terrible
doing unknowns
song.
is something that can work. But you do auditions. You want to have somebody that knows how to fucking act, not just read. And apparently that's what he did. And also, Anima brought this up earlier that that Spilsbury wanted the film filmed in consensual order, not consensual, consecutive order. He wanted it shot that way, and because he doesn't know how to make movies, and he doesn't know how to act, and so he was demanding that. He was demanding a lot of things. Apparently, he was a complete fucking shitheel on the set, or at least that's what we've heard. Is it true? We don't know, because you get a lot of people that just doesn't like someone, and then they just start pulling everything out,
ganging up on him.
Yeah, but it comes up everywhere that he was terrible to work with, got into fights, was drinking, acted like he was a superstar. He must have been a handful on set.
Here's trivia. John Barry couldn't conduct the next Bond film, For Your Eyes Only, so he gave Bill Conti the assignment instead. Good for Bill Conti. Bill Conti's only work before that that was known, that he's known for, is Rocky. And I do like that soundtrack. But John Barry, boy, what a stinker of a soundtrack.
Got the Raspberry, worst musical score.
What a stinker of a soundtrack.
Now, Anima, if I heard you correctly, you said that Bruce Boxleitner was considered for this?
Yeah. According to the research I did, yeah.
He would have been awesome in this.
As would Kurt Russell. I can totally see that. But apparently they didn't look good enough in the mask. Bit their own ass.
It said Texas. Wasn't the Lone Ranger in California?
No, Texas.
No, he's
Texas Rangers.
Yeah.
So he's the Texas version of Zorro.
Yeah, more or less. But yeah.
And he is kind of an outlaw.
More guns, less swords.
Well, he's AWOL, if you think about it.
I mean, both.
And they do stick to the original story that he was a lawyer that comes to meet his brother, who's a Texas Ranger, and he gets deputized to go with him after Butch Cavendish, and they get betrayed by one of the members.
Yes.
Who regrets it. I think they did a better job in the Disney version with the guy that betrayed, because at least he died trying to redeem himself.
He definitely regretted it. I mean, he completely withdrew from society and drank himself into oblivion, more or less, in the modern one.
He betrayed all his friends to death. That must not be easy to live with.
So he betrayed them to the death.
Yeah.
Why does everything have to be to the death with
the
you?
Bad guys music. Another problem this movie had with the release, because it tanked. It made like total of 12 million. The budget was 18, so that's bad. Aside of all the negative publicity with the Clayton Moore lawsuit, was that Spilsbury absolutely refused any kind of publicity work on this. So you have a lead actor who's bad, and then not even helping with publicity. Bad.
Here's the first
change.
In the
end, the film was a between 13 and 18 million budget. but it did earn overall 12.6 million overall.
Ouch.
So you can see
The opening
that
week only brought up 4. So
Ouch.
yeah, right.
So this is the first big change in the original story. Is Tonto's family who gets killed, and it's saved by Reed. They inverted those rules here. Now,
Oh, okay.
this is a thing that bothered me during the whole movie, and I thought it was my copy. Then I looked for it on pictures, and the movie looks like they were smeared the camera's lenses with Vaseline.
Yeah, it's got a soft filter thing going on. It's really weird looking.
As if it was a dream.
Or a nightmare in this case.
It's still better than what they did with the 2013 movie, with the whole story with the kid meeting this ancient old Indian at the exhibition. And why? What was the point of that phrase?
Yeah, that whole
It was
side
not
story
needed.
was weird.
Yeah. It just
I
made the
don't know.
movie way longer than it needed to be. 2.5 fucking hours.
I
Just
never
cut all
saw
that
that
shit.
movie. The moment I saw they were making the Lone Ranger a comedy, I said, no, I will pass on this one.
The problem is, I
Yeah,
don't think
'cause
they
it
were
doesn't
trying
work.
to
It's
do a
terrible.
comedy.
Oh yeah, there were.
Yeah, they made the Lone Ranger kind of goofy, and it was insulting.
It was cartoonish, so they absolutely intended that.
Oh, the score of The Right Stuff is awesome. Well, all about The Right Stuff is right. We should do The Right Stuff.
What the fuck are you talking about?
The Right Stuff, the movie, the
The
astronauts.
movie, The Right Stuff.
Oh yeah. I love that movie.
Which is different from All the Right Stuff with Michael J. Fox.
And very different from the Disney TV show, The Right Stuff, in which they decided to shed all over the astronauts.
And much different from All the Right Moves, where you get to see Leah Thompson in the Buffo.
Yeah.
With Tom Cruise playing football.
Hey, we have Read by Nature. Oh, by the way, I have forgotten. We have 2 bridges, and
Were they any good?
not really, but what I have to honor them. And hello, Reed. Let me get okay. For wait. There's your video. Wait for your bridge.
Check around and see if there's a back door.
And in honor to Monkey Jeebus being here after a long pause, I'm not gonna mess with you, Monkey. But this is from the original movie.
We sneaked in here the back way.
So there you go.
Nice one, Martin. Nice.
Yeah, after I saw this piece of crap last night, I had to see the original just to cleanse my eyes.
Yeah, I've never seen the original.
And let me tell you, I'm so happy to be doing this show with you because we are laughing, and that has lowered the edge that I was coming in with my venom for this movie. The Lone Ranger and Zorro were my 2 childhood heroes. So seeing this, I was so pissed.
Well, not just you. I mean, it tanked badly. Nobody liked it.
I had a joke chambered, but I'm not going to say it.
Fight away.
Now
Fight
you
away.
have to. Now you have to.
You were going on and on and on and on. God damn. It's ruined now. The timing's ruined. I was going to say.
It's ruined, Brian. Ruined.
I saw a really good movie in the late 80s called Put the Stuff Right in Her, but
Oh gosh.
You've ruined my timing.
No, it still works. It still works.
I can perfectly listen to that Gambit without picturing the Lone Ranger. I'm sorry. I come from classical music background, although that's an opera that I never got to see because we're not big on Rossini here in Vienna. But yeah, it comes up in concerts sometimes, the overture. But they completely overused it in this movie. It gets annoying. You're like, oh, that one again. Didn't they have their own ideas for background music?
Yeah.
I have to say that I love the overture better than I love both the movies, and I haven't seen one of them.
There you go.
I don't care what Gary says. I love it.
It just doesn't work for a Western, in my opinion.
You can make it work. They didn't know how to.
Lone Ranger is a special case. Lone Ranger is a special case. I get it that it doesn't really fit with a Western because it's not a Western. It's a European call for a hunt. That's what it is.
The only thing they have in common is that Wilhelm Tell is shooting arrows. That's the only Western thing about it.
I mean, the Lone Ranger isn't shooting any arrows. It's Tonto that shoots the arrows.
No, well, from time to
time.
Really?
Tonto shoots his pistol, his revolver.
Yeah.
And in the original movie, he's quite adept at that. You have the ranger constantly say him, no, don't kill them, don't kill them.
I mean, it's sad when you start to do research on a movie and the only awards that it ever got nominated for or even won are the Golden Raspberry and the Stinker's Bad Movie Award. Yeah.
Now,
and Spilsbury won 3 of them. I mean, it's just no wonder he never acted again.
I don't know, Adam. I'm gonna get back to the thing with the theme. Yes, it was poorly executed in this movie, but you have to have that theme in some way or another, because Lone Ranger, you cannot have the Lone Ranger without that theme and without him shooting the weapons out of the hands of their enemies. Those are trademarks.
Yeah, but like Gary said, then
wait.
Don't play the full thing all the time.
Okay, let me finish. There's people to this day that hear that and they say, "Oh, the Lone Ranger." They don't even know about Figaro. Figaro. So you cannot leave it out of it. What you have to do is, as Gary said, find a way.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
To use it.
Yeah, play around with the theme, but all they did was play the full thing all the fucking time, and it gets annoying. It's easy and it's lazy.
Does Tonto shoot arrows at Austrians? I don't know.
That's
the only guy that could have been an Austrian was killed by a bullet in the sequence. By the way, I only knew that Tonto is called Tonto like 20 years ago, something, because when I grew up seeing this in the 70s, it was, of course, dubbed to Spanish, and they had to change his name because Tonto in Spanish means fool. So
I know, right? That must have bothered you people.
Which that is a joke in the new film from 2013. He says, "Do you know what your name is in Spanish?" Yeah, he says it in the movie. He says, "By the way, do you know what your name is in Spanish?" And he just ignores him. Johnny Depp ignores him.
They rename him to Toro, which translates to bull in English.
Well, if it worked for them, I have to say, one thing I preferred with the 2013 movie is when Lone Ranger does this stupid shout out to Silver. Let's go, Silver, whatever. That was cheesy as fuck. And Tonto looks at him and says, please don't ever do that again. I was like, yeah.
Hi ho, Silver? Away?
It's cheesy as fuck.
Yes, but it's part of the character.
The stupid narration. I hate it.
I don't care.
Do you understand sticking to the source material?
I don't know the source material. I just know that this is one thing about this movie that annoyed me because cheesy.
Well, welcome to my club, Meth.
I can only judge what I know, and I don't know the source material. So
the reason the song is there and the reason you had Hi Ho Silver Away is because it's the, other than the look, is the two main ingredients that make the Lone Ranger into the Lone Ranger. Otherwise, like I said, he is Zorro, essentially.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that might have worked in the 50s. We're in the 80s now.
I don't care. It's the same character. It has to embody all that makes that character who he is.
Yeah, shit like that
Anyway.
is never going to work for me.
Well, every IP is not meant for everybody.
I can see why that works for little boys and make the Lone Ranger their hero. Absolutely.
Of
But
course,
watching
this
this as a
was
grown-up,
TV show
I
for
cringe.
little boys,
I know. But this movie isn't. It's not a kid's movie. It's aimed at an adult audience.
which is a mistake.
Yeah.
But the
One of the
adult
many.
audience that this movie is trying to get is the
Loves
people
the
who
original.
were young, 10 years old, watching the original TV show 30 years before that.
Yeah, and then they see their hero all flat and what's worse, dubbed like that. Who ever thought that's going to work?
I don't know. I haven't seen the movie. And you make it so enticing to watch, so
Fraud with problems. Oh, yeah. Again, Boxliner would have been perfect for this.
Or Kurt Russell. He was that age.
Yeah.
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 I don't know the other three, but I can totally see Kurt Russell as Lone Ranger.
The thing is, it's called Russell. You put a mask on him and you say, hey, that's called Russell.
Right.
His face is too identifiable.
I don't care. It's a movie. I prefer having somebody who knows how to act and deliver lines
The
over
Lone
somebody who
Ranger
looks
is a
pretty
master
but
of
sucks at
disguise.
everything.
The Lone Ranger is a master of disguise.
Yeah, so that would work for Spilsbury because he has zero charisma. You see him and then you look away and you've already forgotten him.
Yeah.
Doesn't need a mask for that, if you ask me.
The whole story with the girl and that was so contrived.
Yeah, she wasn't that good either.
Especially because it doesn't get anywhere.
That's one of the problems that this film had. It took over an hour before he puts on the mask for the first time. And that was too long for people.
Yes.
They want to see the Lone Ranger. They don't want to see an hour of slow storytelling that's boring as fuck. And then finally you see him. That was way...
He's the Lone Ranger for like 20 minutes or something.
Yeah. The pacing was all wrong.
What? Read? Are you serious?
No,
the Johnny Depp.
Oh, the Johnny Depp one? Yeah, okay. I could buy that.
Again, are you serious?
It had werewolves in it, apparently.
The original script had werewolves. Oh my God.
And it ended up being a dead crow on his hat.
Right.
That was weird too. Yeah.
Oh, that's Matthew Perry's brother. Okay.
What?
Matthew
What?
Perry's brother was somebody.
No, it's his
read it to me,
dad.
please.
I said this
Oh.
a little while ago. That his dad is in the movie.
Yeah, but the audience wasn't listening to you, Gary.
Well, Beverly hasn't arrived yet. Oh my God, werewolf, silver bullets. Oh,
Right. Silver bullets. There you go. He's
They were meant to be
invincible.
They
He's
were meant to be
invincible.
a symbol, those bullets. All the bullshit about them being more precise. Fuck off. That's not how it works.
no, on the contrary, there have been TV shows about weapons that they have tested it, silver bullets, and they are shit because
Yeah.
they're not malleable and they get slowed down inside the barrel.
Yeah, the bullet gets smashed. Titanium bullets,
yes.
though.
Here we have evil Dr. Brown.
You know what's funny? When he's planning his crime, he's using a model train. And he's doing the same thing in Back to the Future 3 when he plans their escape using model
Because
trains.
he's the
I
same
love that.
character. He is the
Aw.
same character. Yes, he is. He
No,
was
he's not
bitter
evil
because
that-
he was
He's
just
not
bitter
evil.
because he couldn't go back to the future.
You think
He-
that made him into Cavendish?
that was his alter ego.
I like how weird you're getting about him.
Oh, welcome, Tim,
think-
and that's something to say. I mean, I guess.
What's that?
So, oh my God, Tim.
I can read
By
it.
what name are you known?
There are some who call me
Tim?
Okay, read it.
So, Gary, does this film have gay cowboys eating pudding?
I would say
I
yes.
can't do the Bill Cosby pudding, but pudding.
That's funny.
Yeah, if
Is
you
it
say
choc-
pudding, you should be eating pudding and then spray just a little bit of chocolate pudding when you say
Right.
it.
Yeah. When you say it.
Just like Lloyd Bridges.
Yes, exactly like Lloyd Bridges.
I had a mental image, and I love that movie. Pudding.
See if I can find that. Just
Oh, thank
I
you,
gotta
sir.
grab that.
Hey, Tom Baker is here.
Hey, Tom Baker.
So, was it a chocolate pudding?
Why are we talking about pudding?
I don't know. I'm hungry.
Derail.
I'm so hungry.
Because Tim asked a question.
I can't. I shouldn't eat technically because it's a
I
quarter
know
to
it's
12.
midnight.
A quarter to
You need-
12,
That's
and
bad
I'm old.
planning, Mephisto. You need to plan better. Have your dinner on time.
I've had
Whoa.
a very. I had a very
have
nice lunch and a very healthy, nice dinner, which I ruined with 2 toasts,
Okay.
Oh, no.
Hi, Keith.
and I'm still hungry.
Oh, no.
Afternoon, everyone.
Hey, Keith. How are you?
Hey, I'm all right. Had to sneak away because the grandson is falling asleep for a little bit. So I
Yay.
thought I'd jump in and see how everybody was doing and how they were enjoying the movie.
So basically,
Don't
kid,
even get me started.
what you're saying is, wait, this is what you're saying.
We sneaked in here the back way.
I mentioned nothing about any backs of any kind. Look, I got to say this. I was one of the few people that actually found a few things that I did enjoy about this film. As a whole, though, it's got problems. One of which is it needed a lot of editing. I mean, there's no way this film should be this long. And it feels
Right.
even longer. You know, it feels way longer than it actually is. I love the cinematography. I think the actors are serviceable. But the script, this is just one of those movies where you can definitely tell the people making this were trying to take a basic idea and just turn it into something much bigger than what it was. Not quite the Michael Cimino type of situation, but Heaven's Gate, which was a much better movie than it was given credit for. But you know, it could have worked, but definitely needed to be edited down. At least this movie didn't need to be beyond an hour and a half, if even that. So
This movie runs for an hour and a half.
Feels longer, dude. First time I saw it, it
Yes.
felt like. First time I saw it, I thought it was a 3-hour film.
I get you.
Yeah.
I get you.
I mean, we've addressed this. It takes over an hour before you see him put on the mask for the first time, and that's just wrong.
Yeah, well, it was. I know what they were going for with this film. I know what they were trying to do. They were trying to get away from Clayton Moore when they were making the movie. And considering how many people grew up with Clayton Moore as the Lone Ranger, they just thought that it was best to spend as much time trying to build up this actor, Clayton Spilsbury,
He's not an actor.
Yeah, I know. But he is the lead in this particular film, and they were just trying to, you know, do something a little different. To me, they needed to go a different direction with how they wrote the script. And the pacing is just off. You know? Yeah. Although, now, that having been said, there is one thing that came out of this movie. One actor that came out of this movie who a lot of people would become fans of years later.
Horse.
That's right, Michael Horse.
He went on to Twin Peaks, yeah.
Yep.
And he had no idea if he could act or not when they brought him on, because they cast him because he looked good. And he went into this like, if it works, it works. If not, okay. But Spilsbury, on the other hand, he acted like he was already a superstar and made demands and got into trouble all the time. It was terrible to work with, apparently, and bad.
Yeah.
The only thing that kept him in this movie is his looks, because he looks pretty in a mask, and that's just wrong.
Now, you guys did discuss the fact that one of the Lone Ranger actors makes a cameo appearance in this film.
No. Who did?
John Hart. The guy who actually took over for Clayton Moore when Clayton Moore left the series. They
got
brought in
fired and then was brought back by fan demand.
Yep. That's right.
I know they asked Clayton Moore to have a cameo because it was a thing at the time, but he went like, fuck you, because they've been bugging him since 75 to stop appearing at children's hospitals in character. They wanted him to stop of stupid reasons, and they beat their own ass because that lawsuit was dropped. Bad publicity.
They didn't want to spend the money, is really what it came down to. They could have made a Lone Ranger movie with Clayton Moore. I partially understand what they were attempting to do, but they were very bad at it. And there's a lot of people during this period of time that were really bad at doing things. I mean, again, you had the people behind this movie that were trying to use the fans of the Lone Ranger while also trying to separate themselves from the history of the Lone Ranger, at least as far as the previous actors. And
sounds like current day Lucasfilm.
It sounds like a lot of things. You got to remember, when Warner Brothers bought DC, Warner Brothers wasn't really going to try to make any headway as far as finding a way of negotiating with Superman's creators. You know, they had to be convinced to cut a check to those guys because they were just going to go ahead and make the movie. That's the reason why I say, you know, you can't really easily criticize DC films and the way they did things because they're in a completely different situation than Marvel. The thing that Kevin Feige has done to Marvel is that it's taken him just a few years comparatively to basically take the advantage that Marvel had, being autonomous, and turning it into the DC situation. They are fully corporatized now. They are fully a part of Disney. And it's to the point where, you know, Kevin might as well just be, you know, Bob Iger's left pinky finger. Because he doesn't do anything that Bob Iger hadn't already approved. And that was the problem with DC. And that was the problem with a lot of properties. Hollywood would get in there and think that they knew best. And, you know, it was all just a cash grab. And for a lot of performers, especially longtime IPs, they didn't really care. It's the 1970s. Come on. Nobody cared. As long as they got fans into the theaters. And when you, Gary can back this up, when you look at what the producers of Superman the movie thought they were doing, this is what they were doing. This right here is what they thought they were making. You know, they didn't care about the character. Donner and Mankiewicz cared about the character. That's the only reason why that film is what it is. You could point to a lot of things, but the most definitive thing that you can definitely say about Superman the movie is that because of Richard Donner and Tom Mankiewicz, that's the reason why that film is successful. Because you had two people that took it seriously.
Verisimilitude.
Yep. They could have used that in this film.
If we care about the movie that we're making, the audience will care.
Yep. And create a reality and stick to it. Don't just change it to be convenient. I'm looking right at you guys. I'm looking right at the guys who, the producers of Superman, who made Superman 2 after firing Donner and made all those changes. You can't, it's like creating a game to play and then you change the rules halfway through everybody playing the game.
Hey, we have Cam here, and he's been a member for 12 months.
Thank you, Cam.
And with a belated congratulations to Anima for her birthday.
Thank you. I hope you are with us on Friday. That's Gary's birthday party. So, and we make him discuss ET, which he hates. It's my revenge.
Well,
you make me talk airplane on my birthday.
Wait.
Anima.
You're doing ET this Friday?
Yes.
Good luck.
Wait, Anima. You said that is your revenge. You said that is that this is your revenge, but it sounds more like a kamikaze attack because you hate the movie too.
I know, and I didn't choose it, but like Gary says, you gotta take them as they come. He made me do something I hate, and he really hates that. So.
Hey, Monkey Jeebus.
Happy birthday!
He's having a birthday today. Happy birthday, Monkey!
Hello.
Oh, happy birthday!
Hello, Monkey!
Monkey!
Happy birthday, Jeebus!
Monkey! Don't you know you got to shuck your monkey?
The monkey.
Especially today on his birthday.
And Cam is going to be with us. His birthday is actually Monday, but we do the birthday shows on Fridays. Although, Gary, we could have made you discuss Lioness on Military Monday for your birthday.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that to myself. I don't want to do that to myself. I don't want
I
to
will
waste another
conveniently
minute.
call in sick.
Yeah, you don't get to do that. You're not allowing me that, so no.
I'm calling sick on Friday, by the way.
Aw.
I'll be ceremoniously not here.
Take one for the team, Mesh. Don't be like that.
I will be here
You want me
eating
here?
popcorn.
You want me here? Pay me.
No one gets food here.
E.T. is one of those movies where I will admit that it is not a bad movie. It is a good movie. But I don't like it. I never liked it.
It's a very well-made bad movie.
I saw it as a kid and I found it stupid. So
It's
figure.
insipid. As I
Because you
refer
don't
to it
have
as
any
when I went to see
soul.
it. I went to see Blade Runner and The Thing, and they were awesome. And that movie came out, and it sucked all the life out of both those movies. Killed
And
them
that is why
at
you
the
hate
box
it.
office.
Because
And that is,
it
it's one of the reasons why I'm glad I hate it.
Mac and me. Oh.
Mac
Oh,
and me.
man.
Oh,
I have
man.
never
Did somebody
seen, nor
mention
will I
that?
ever
Ew.
see that movie.
You know,
What?
I got the impression that E.T. was a much better film. You know, from the description I got. Of course, then again, it's from Cheech and Chong, because I thought Eddie Torres the But am I wrong? Am I discussing a different movie?
I've been dodging Mac and me.
I will
since
tell
it
you.
got released.
If you're going to bring up Cheech and Chong, that movie, E.T., is missing way too much Dave.
Dave? Right, man. Dave. D-A-V-E, Dave. Now, will you open up the
Who
door?
is it, man? It's me, man. It's me, Dave, man. Open the door, man. It's me, Dave. Who?
Dave's not here.
Man. Dave. Dave. Yeah, Dave, man. Dave's not here.
That sounds like
No,
another
man,
movie
it's
that would
me,
annoy the shit
Dave.
out of me.
Fucking love that guy.
So great, man. So
I was in
great.
high school when I heard that the first time, and I laughed my ass off. Going, who the fuck are these guys?
Yeah. I'm the same way. I learned about those guys in the Fireside Theater and Monty Python. I learned about all those about the same time, give or take. So,
Well, I started watching
their
Monty
movies
Python
are
as a
okay,
kid.
but their albums are way funnier. Oh my god, their recorded studio albums are just the funnier things.
The kamikaze pilots of the Imperial Navy, before we take our final flight and drink our ceremonial sake juice, are there any questions? Yes, you in the back. Yeah, you fucking crazy? Come on, man. This shit was awesome.
All those Pedro and the Man sketches are just too much, dude. They're awesome. They really are.
Oh my god.
Sister Mary Elephant, you never saw her in one of the movies, I don't think, but she was on the albums. Class, shut up! I mean, when she yelled, they turned that up to such a pitch. If you had a good stereo system, it almost popped the speakers, man.
Yeah,
it was bad how loud they turned that up for her voice.
Wow.
It was great.
I got to dig up some of those.
They are
I'm gonna have
funny,
to listen
man.
to that later.
Yes, my God.
Well, you know, when I was a little kid, 4th grade, I listened to Richard Pryor for the first time at Vic Armstrong's house.
Oh my God.
We snuck into his, well, we're in the basement, and then he snuck into his dad's collection of LPs, and there was fucking Richard Pryor. We sat there listening, and I think the thing that got me back then was the whole Blackula gag. That whole fucking
Oh,
thing.
that's when they got you.
You
I
gonna suck
like the one.
what?
I like the one about the dogs that live next door. The ones that are always trying to go after him that he's always describing, always chasing him.
I don't remember that.
It's the dead monkey sketch. What's the matter, Rich?
Oh, I've
The
lost too many
monkey's
brain
dead.
cells. I don't remember that. Oh God.
Oh man.
Yeah, Richard Pryor was the shit.
Hey, look, at least it was Richard Pryor, not Red Fox. That would have got you in trouble.
I loved Red Fox because he did this one joke. He says, sometimes I like to ride the subway and laugh at all the ugly people. Every day I go down there, there's somebody new, even uglier than the last time. And it was all going really well until I looked over and I saw this woman pointing and laughing at me. Fucking Red Fox.
Wow. Whew. That's memories for you.
All right, guys, I'm fading away, so I'm gonna go to bed. All right.
All right,
Nice.
buddy. See you
Nice
later.
seeing you.
Take care, Mephisto.
If
You need better cocaine, Meth.
if I can make it on Friday as a respect to Gary, I'll show up. I'll even
yeah,
try
it's my
and
birthday.
watch.
Just pop your head in.
God
I said
damn.
the same thing to Mike. God.
I'll talk about it.
What?
All right.
Okay.
I'll talk about it then. Okay.
All right. buddy.
I don't want to get riled up before I go to bed. It's not good. Right, guys. I'm gonna say goodbye. Have a good time and enjoy dumping on this movie, I guess. See ya, guys.
Oh, we are.
Bye.
Bye, Meth.
I just
Good
cannot
night.
believe that this was the movie Sir Lou Grade came to America on. Just blows my mind.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
My God, this horrible filter. Everything looks
Yeah.
blurry.
I
Yeah,
hate that.
somebody said
It's a
it
soft
looked
lens.
like a dream sequence or something. I was like, I was about to quote Excalibur. I was like, a dream to some, a nightmare to others.
To others. Great movie. Great movie.
Nicole Williams, the single greatest over actor in Hollywood history, even more
Yeah.
than Jim Carrey.
Considering that cast, that's saying a lot.
Yeah.
That was,
Well,
they had an incredible cast for that movie.
Yeah, but you know what? I never saw the guy that played Arthur ever again in anything.
I did.
Oh, he was in a
I
lot
did.
of stuff.
Yep.
Yeah,
I
he was in a
didn't
lot
Even
of
did an
stuff.
episode of Doctor Who with David Tennant.
Okay, there you go. I don't watch Doctor Who, so there you
And
go.
he had a television series that he did the pilot for ABC that they filmed in England.
Mhm.
And it was kind of like a very weird take on. It was basically using the premise of Bonanza, but set during the time of kings and knights and knaves. And he played the dad. He was the father. And he had two sons that loved to fight and horse around and break stuff. And a daughter who wishes she could be a knight, but was being taught to be a lady. And she's the only one in the entire cast that was actually American. She's an American actress who had to put on a faux British accent for the show. So I think you can still find at least the pilot episode on YouTube. I can just remember the name of the series. But I remember I watched it and I thought, well, this is interesting. You know,
Yeah.
didn't mind it so
I
much.
never saw him in anything else. I never did.
Wow. Did you ever see? Well, no, 'cause that. Yeah, that was before. He actually did a movie that had an amazing cast, and he played the youngest brother. It was Timothy Dalton was in it, and it was the movie that Timothy Dalton basically won the Bond role for. The Bond producers came to him after that movie came out, and that was when
you're talking about The Lion in Winter.
That's it, The Lion in Winter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he played John in it. The guy that played Arthur.
Yes, he was the youngest of them, and an amazing cast, though. God, that was an amazing cast.
Oh yeah, it was Anthony Hopkins' first film, and it was Timothy Dalton's first film. Peter O'Toole, Catherine Hepburn. I can't remember who played Joffrey. But Timothy Dalton played Philip Augustus of France, the gay prince that was rumored to be having an affair with Richard, there's no evidence of that at all anywhere.
Who else was in it? Sir? Anthony Hopkins is in it. He's the middle brother. Oh, yeah. No, was he the oldest brother or the middle brother?
He played the part of Richard. He was the eldest.
Okay.
Because he's the one who would get the throne.
Yeah.
Now, I gotta admit, the horse they get to play Silver is beautiful.
Oh, they went all out with a lot of stuff connected with this movie. I mean, I remember all the little
that looks like an albino horse because he's got pink around his eyes.
And even the nose is the nose and the and the horse snout is too white to be a normal horse.
Yeah. Again, I can understand what they were attempting to go for, but this production was just messed up. I mean, again, this script needed to be tighter, and
Okay, so Northern Purpose says that Geoffrey was played by John Castle.
Oh, also something that was included in the play, but more so in the film version of The Lion in Winter, is William Marshall, who was basically the king's hitman. He was the Marshal of England.
Mm-hmm. See, Lion in Winter, that was 1967 or 66.
It's a great fucking movie, dude. I love that movie.
But I mean, again, every time I watched that film, I got this like, wow, they were really going young with Bond. Since they went after Timothy Dalton.
But he was perfect for the part. It's just he was right that he was too young at the time.
Mm-hmm. Seems like you and I aren't the only ones that like to argue that he is such a good Bond.
There are two versions of The Lion in Winter.
I have never seen anybody who was a real legit Bond fan, a legit one meaning that they know their shit, that don't agree that he was one of the best Bonds.
Who's that?
Timothy Dalton.
Timothy Dalton? Hell yeah.
Because he was the closest we ever got to book accurate Bond. From his lupine looks to the way he behaved himself. Sean Connery came really close in Dr. No and From Russia with Love. Those are the only two where he came close to playing a book accurate Bond.
Mm-hmm. Because all the other actors outside of Connery and Dalton played Bond as a guy that would, they would go through their scenes. They were missing that one element, which is that Bond can separate himself from wherever he is. He can almost not quite fade into the background, but he watches people. He's a people watcher. That's part of what makes him so good. And you have that kind of element with Connery and Dalton. You see scenes, especially with Dalton. Take a look at when he's not speaking. He's scanning the room. He's thinking of things. It's kind of like what they do with the Sherlock Holmes movies with RDJ.
You see,
You can see
when I do that,
he's considering everything.
When I do that, when I enter into a room and don't speak and only watching everything, everyone says that I'm creepy. Not interesting.
Well, it's what you have to do if you're an agent. If you want to make it out of with the live, you got to be able to watch everything and be able to take in all the pertinent information quickly.
Give me a second here. Give me a second. Anima, are you talking to Gary? Did he lost connection or what?
I have no idea. I'm none the wiser than you guys.
So,
bummer even.
Let me change the name of the show to drink with a movie. And
right.
We lost our drawer. Where's our drawer?
I don't know if he even realized that he dropped out.
Yeah, I'm usually drawn. I decided to, since I'm so close to my other show, I put the articles together while we yacked about this thing. So, yeah, that's why I'm not drawing today. But I guess I better get on the stick and start drawing, huh? Since our drawer left.
So somebody try. I'll try.
Please, somebody has to draw.
Or it'll be false advertising. We're gonna get sued. No.
Yeah. And for Snorty, we had this jewel of a movie.
Here, Will, put on your coat. Will Danaher, they're coming to the front door.
Well, since when has the back door been not good enough?
Wow.
That's intense. Cubby Broccoli told me everything or nothing. It took 3 movies for Sean Connery to be popular.
Sorry, guys, I lost internet.
So when you look at Timothy, he only made 2 attempts. I dig Timothy Dalton, man. I think he was good. I mean,
well, there was supposed to be a third film, and that third film got broken into 3 different movies.
Really?
With Pierce Brosnan.
You're kidding me.
The movie was going to be called Portrait of a Lady, and it got broken up into
Portrait of a Lady. Yep.
Wow.
I think they did him dirty in 1923 because at first his character
absolutely
was great,
they did him dirty.
All
those years pushing him to take on the role and then fuck him over.
Yeah, they went over the top with his character. He could have been a bad guy without going where they went.
That was I got sick of it after the second time they highlighted.
We always fast forwarded through that.
Yeah, it's just it was
not
dumb.
needed. But yeah, well, they went to shit in the second season anyway.
I like the series, but yeah, that was the worst part of it. Was
they changed Alex's character? They turned her into. They turned Alex into this girl that doesn't know what to do, and that's not who she is in the first season. And when she decides to stick with him in Africa, she's a badass.
Right.
And then they made her into the whiny bitch, just running into drama after drama after drama. And they did the same with Spencer. Too much drama.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to see those 2 reunite and take over the farm or something, and then Yeah. And having a baby that premature in that time and the baby survives, fuck off. Unbelievable. Completely unbelievable. I'm sorry.
Oh,
The baby's not even
man.
in hospital. They take him right home. And Kara cares for him. Like, what? No.
What movie are you talking about?
1923. 1923. The series.
Oh, that series. Okay, yeah.
Timothy Dalton. I had to go there because they did him bad with where his character went.
I enjoyed him in
yes,
Doom Patrol. They just didn't have enough of him in there.
I'm putting the link for The Quiet Man, our review, in the chat, so you can, if you haven't seen it, go see it. You're gonna love that show.
Quiet Man's great movie.
Yep.
It was. That was a lot of fun.
It's premium, John Wayne.
Yes, it is.
And Venkman's girl is here.
Hi, Venkman's girl.
And I want to point out, Keith, that one of the things I love about some of John Wayne's best movies, they were films that he didn't feel comfortable making.
Mm-hmm.
The Quiet Man, The Searchers,
Mm-hmm.
every single film, True Grit, every single film where he did his best acting, actual acting, were films that he was nervous to make because they weren't typical John Wayne vessels. By the way, this video goes out to my buddy Mephisto. For all of you, I hope you enjoyed this.
Pudding? No, thank you, sir.
So that's what
he was talking about. Oh man,
I love that movie, Hot Shots, because that's where it ended. For the Zucker brothers and Abrams, it ended with Hot Shots. After that, film parody comedies just went downhill. Scary Movie is a parody of a film that was a parody, because Scream is a parody of the slasher genre. And to make a parody of a parody is like a hat on a hat. It's just fucking weird. Would you wear a hat on top of a hat? No, that's just fucking weird. So I'm not a big fan of the Scary Movie films. So they weren't funny to me. The only thing I found funny about him was in the second movie. I forget his name. He's one of my favorite comedic actors. He has that little miniature hand. He has a miniature hand as the butler. I fucking laughed my ass off at that gag. That was fucking funny and gross.
I love the parrot. The parrot was funny.
Which one?
In the second film, the parrot.
Oh, I forgot about the parrot. Oh my god, yeah. There's some really great fucking moments in those films, but overall I didn't think they worked because, again, you're making a parody of a parody. Again, the soft filter. What is with the soft filter lens?
A dream
I don't know.
to some.
It ruins all those. I mean, all those beautiful landscape ruined with that filter.
Well, also all the great effects, the explosive effects, filter all over the place. Like, I'm glad that the director didn't get a job again, but for all the striking photography in this film ruined by a filter, the person who chooses the filter is the DP.
I do remember about this movie that it had some pretty cool pyrotechnics in it. I do remember that.
Amazing pyrotechnics at the end. Plus, there's some really great stunts, great gags in this film.
Yep. Mm-hmm. But it's a bad movie. Wow, it's bad.
Yeah. They spent a lot of time, money. I mean, not just on the film, but lawsuits and everything.
Yeah.
To get to this point.
Just like Mrs. Rabbit, she's not bad. She's just drawn that way.
Right.
So this movie, it's not like it was bad. It was just made that way.
I just think in Robin Hood's song in Shrek and modified it, tweak it a little and said, it's bad. It's really, really bad.
Oh, yeah.
My God, this movie.
Well, guys, I got to get some groceries down my throat, so I'm going to bail. You guys.
Thanks for joining us, Joe.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Always good to have you.
Thanks for
if I can
showing
get
up,
here,
Joe.
you know I'm going to get here. I just I knew I was going to be backed up on my show today, so that's why I didn't draw. I went ahead and put the articles together while we were sitting here talking. But good to see you guys as usual. If
You too, buddy.
if you would like to, everybody watching, come check it and check out State of the Atmosphere. We start at 5:30. It's all the pop culture stuff over on my channel. So take care of yourself, guys.
Yay!
Bye.
See you later,
Keep
buddy.
on drawing, Gary, because it's looking good, man. It's looking fantastic, bro.
Thanks, buddy.
You need to show it off a little bit there. I like what you're doing there. See ya.
Yeah. See ya, buddy. Let me bring that. Oh, just in the when you took it off the screen.
Wait a minute.
That one.
No.
Oh,
Hold up.
God.
Wait a minute. Let me put some dog in it.
I thought you finished
Tom
that
Baker.
one.
What are you saying, buddy? Jeffrey Unsworth? Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Talking
Okay.
about the cinematography.
Yeah,
Superman.
okay. And Laszlo Comics. Okay, so Laszlo was the cinematographer for this movie? Really? I like Laszlo.
Kid,
Yeah.
this comment is for you. This comment is just for you. But
Yeah, he did the cinematography, Keith.
Who did?
Kovac. Laszlo Kovac.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez.
What?
Oh,
Look at his
jeez.
credits.
Finally.
Look at Laszlo's credits, though. I mean, man.
Hey, look, John Terry did a shitty job in this movie too, and we know how good he is.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe somebody slipped him a Mickey.
oh my God,
Barry's usually good, and he got the raspberry for the worst musical score for this because it sucked ass.
That's
They even released
a good one, Snorts.
They released the title song as a single to radio stations.
Oh, it's
And it's
terrible.
such a
Did that.
bad
It's
song.
a terrible song.
Yeah.
It was nominated for both the Raspberries and the Stinkers Bad Movie Awards, that song. But somebody else had a worse song, apparently. That scene was so weird. It was so obviously him playing the father. But maybe that's just because he can't act to save his life. I don't know.
You know, I do have a controversial view, though. I think this movie is as bad as Will Smith's Wild Wild West.
Yeah, it's right up there with it. Yeah, it's right up there with it.
Wild Wild West is slightly less bad at this one.
No, dude, no. And I'm a Will Smith fan, but he was miscast in that movie. He's acting in a completely different film than everybody else. In fact, let me put it to you this way. It's almost like he's making another Men in Black movie, except he's in a Western, and he doesn't realize it. That's Will Smith in Wild Wild West. You know.
Wiki, as Cartman would sing.
I don't think I ever want to watch that. Also because I don't really like.
Oh, it's not a very good film.
I don't like the actor, so.
I mean,
that was Kevin Kline's contractual obligation movie.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, he was replacing someone else. He was the person who had originally been cast was oh man.
You can do it, Keith. You can do it.
I know I can do it. I can do it. Let's see. He was replacing actor Hold on, I got it. I'll get this.
All of Salma Gambit. All of Salma.
George Clooney.
Salma Hayek.
He was replacing George Clooney. Now, the irony being that
Did you say the ironing?
yes, that too. If I remember correctly, Will Smith was not originally meant to play the lead in Wild Wild West. When Clooney was signed, Will Smith wasn't even part of the project yet. And my understanding was they were going to try to do a straight up, honest version of the Wild Wild West. And then Will Smith got cast. And Clooney stayed for about a minute and noped out. And they had to get Kevin Klinton. So I would like to see somebody attempt the Wild Wild West properly, because it is it's a fun idea for a show, fun idea for a movie. But you need everybody on the same page with that. When you're doing something like that has a little tiny bit of tongue in cheek, everybody needs to be on the same page, or else it doesn't work.
Yep. Anything else we want to talk about with this movie?
Yeah, it sucks. Original.
Oh, jeez.
I got one more for you. The guy playing the president, he played other presidents too. He played Lincoln and Roosevelt.
Yeah, that's
speaking about typecasting.
I brought him up. He's great actor. I don't have his name in front of me right now, so I forget his name. Jason Robards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a great American actor.
And I love it when he says he has to go and write the speech for whatever town comes next. That's how much he cares for this tour. Like, yeah, whatever. Entertain me.
Mm.
But yeah, I'm done. I think I gave you everything I have on this movie, because the movie itself just fell flat. I went for facts. I gave them to you. Nothing much to say, except that it's too long.
Well, do you want to talk a little bit about the 2013 film? Because we'll never do a show about it. What were some of the things you liked, and what were some of the things? Because you, just like me, we laughed. There were some fun moments in it.
It was entertaining. So with this movie, the 81 one, they upgraded kind of Tonto and had him speak more English and be more equal to the Lone Ranger. Whereas in the 2013, they went back to having him speak bad English and basically just being the comedy relief.
Yeah, he was so bizarro the way he was playing.
Absolutely. He was American Indian Jack Sparrow. That's all he did for this.
Yeah, what was that, Keith? What did I just do? Because I heard you chuckle.
Do it again.
Bizarro.
Oh man, that was.
That was the Adult Swim series about Sea Quest, not Sea Quest. What was it? It was the cartoon
Sea
series
Lab.
that came out
Sea Lab.
2022 or whatever it was called. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they had the Bizarro episode. Bizarro.
I don't think I'll ever watch that.
This is really looking good right now.
Wait. Let me.
Why are you using red? Be better?
It's how in comic books, if you draw in multiple layers, each layer has its own color. That way you don't fuck up and confuse them with another layer.
Well, the layer thing confuses me to begin with.
Wow.
There's the background.
It looks really good.
I would say I'm 90% done.
Maybe you guys should do Megaforce.
No.
Okay.
No. Bad, Keith. Bad.
Well, we've done this. We're doing this one. Let's do Megaforce.
Oh my fucking God, I can't do it.
You make me suffer through enough bad movies for this show as is. Please don't add to that list. At least do ones that you like.
I'm adding to it. It's Martin and Keith.
I know. I'm just saying I can live with it when it's something that just doesn't work for me, but you guys love it. I'll get through it. But if everybody hates it,
then why are we doing this one? Nobody likes it.
Well, somebody wanted us to do this. It has been on the list for a while because
it's
it was
been on the list for a while. It was a request a long time ago.
And I don't know who suggested it. I couldn't find anything in my notes, and I usually write them down with the name of the person suggesting it, but I couldn't find this one. So might be one of the pages that my Rocket Kitty destroyed because she eats my homework. Sometimes.
He eats or yeets?
She eats my homework. She likes ripping up paper, and she loves for me to crawl it into a ball, and then she plays soccer with it. Football.
Football is very good for me.
She's a 14-year-old kitten running on dog software. They don't come weirder than her. That's as weird as a cat can get. And here she is.
You were talking about me. I heard you.
Yes, she just woke up.
Tom Baker asked, so, what's Gary's favorite Belgian comic book or Belgian artist?
Why Belgian? How do we?
I don't know.
What, do I need to give an answer now?
I guess.
I'm like drawing right now.
Thing to do.
Well, I'm doing artwork right now.
So maybe he doesn't have a favorite Belgian comic artist.
Because I don't know if he's Belgian or not, but Gerard was really good. He's one of my favorites. Can you look it up to see if he was Belgian? He's also known as Mobius.
Okay. On it.
Well, I'm assuming that he would answer if he was or wasn't.
I may be typing it wrong. M-O-E.
Yeah, right? I wouldn't know how to spell that.
No, he's French.
Okay, he's French.
Jean Giraud, French comic author. Yes.
May 8th, 1938.
And we lost him in 2012.
Yep.
He worked on Franco-Belgian Bandes de Signy tradition. So he may have
a lot of cool shit. My favorite thing that he worked on was heavy metal. He did the Airtight Garage. I love that fucking book.
Well, Gambit is talking about Georges Remy. He invented Tintin. I have no idea.
Don't really know his work.
I like Mobius's work on Tron. His sketches for Tron were really cool.
Well, if you go back and look at Ridley Scott's work for Blade Runner, oh my gosh, his fucking artwork for that looked like something done by Mobius.
Anima,
What?
this comment, you read it.
Yeah, just as you bring him up, Gary, Gambit says Mobius did the heavy metal comic book. In French, it's called Metal Hurlant.
Metal Hurlant.
Oh, sorry.
Well, I pronounce it French way.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's why Martine asked me to read these.
Yeah, I was dodging to pronounce that in French. Tom
Because
Baker
you
says
care
that
about correct pronunciation.
Blake and Mortimer are Tom Baker's favorite.
Yeah, when it's about comics, I'm out. I know shit about that.
There were 2 movies and a video game, Islin. I don't remember a TV series. I may be wrong, but I don't remember it. About heavy metal. And of course,
oh yeah, Metal Hurlant. Yeah, they had that was adapted as a series for a bit.
Oh, good to know. Thank you, Islin and Keith.
Oh, you're welcome.
Well, what's the name of the show again? Keith, what's the name of the show again?
It was called Metal Hurlant.
I couldn't understand. Oh, don't worry.
You just type it in there and just type in Metal Hurlant television series. It should come up. I don't think it ever went beyond the first season, though.
Apparently not. (1963) 63 Twilight Zone. Yeah, that's the best. That's the best of the lot. Then the one from the 80s. And you can stop right there.
And the delays with that one were all because of the music.
Mm-hmm. They tried to match the action with the music. That's why you don't use pre-established music as a background for an action scene. Because you have to
heavy metal.
Hergé. I don't know who was that.
That's the guy you brought up earlier. That was I think his artist name. The one who invented Tintin.
Oh yes. Georges
Remy. Okay. Yeah. Apparently his artist name was Hergé.
Well,
again, as an art form, comic books, in my opinion, should be taught in schools. It's a whole international thing. And,
I would love if they did that. I would have loved to learn about comics in my teens.
Oh, I mean,
what do you mean? You are in your teens. You are 19, as I recall.
I don't know if you know this, Keith, but so my dad would allow us the Asterix comics, and my mom's husband, I don't even want to say stepfather, he would allow his son from his first marriage, Lucky Luke and shit like that. We were not allowed comics. So we bought them, like Donald Duck and stuff like that, from our pocket money. And we had like a whole moving box full of them when he found out. And he just burned them.
Son of a...
Right?
That's not cool.
Right? That was a lot of money we spent on that. But we weren't allowed, so... Well, he also banned the TV to the basement because he couldn't handle his own TV consumption, so nobody was watching TV in that house for a long time.
Did you ever?
That's one reason why I grew up without TV, basically.
Did you ever collect? Did you ever collect Harvey comics?
I don't know them.
That's Casper the Friendly Ghost, Little Red Hot.
Harvey comics, yeah, I love those.
No, I don't know about
Baby
them.
Huey. That's
Richie Rich.
Let's see.
Hey, Country Shape Media is here.
Wendy, I think, the witch.
Yeah, Wendy the Witch.
We grew up in the countryside, so we didn't have a comic book store. We were stuck with whatever the tobacco shop offered, and that was basically Donald Duck, Clever and Smart, Lucky Luke, and Asterix.
Oh, that's good too. You know, I grew up with
Asterix
a whole lot
is
of
good.
stuff.
Asterix is educational. I mean, they teach you Latin and shit.
Yeah.
I love those.
I grew up with Gold Key comics and
Hell
Archie
yeah.
comics. Archie comics. Let's see. Of course, DC, Marvel. I mean, I was lucky that a lot of the grocery stores and drugstores had a nice cross section of comics.
And 7-Elevens too. 7-Elevens had often 2 comic carousels.
Yeah. To me, the comic carousel is pretty much one of the most important things ever invented because of the reach of comics, you know, into the mainstream, being made available to kids everywhere. Without the spinner rack, really, which is to me just a symbol of comic book. You know, if you own a spinner rack, you got something. There's a lot of people that try to go out and buy those. You know, the more authentic, the better. It's wow. I mean, yeah. When I think of comic books, that's really one of the first things I think of is comics on a spinner rack. Ooh, I'm dating myself now.
Oh, Gary, did you hear that? I said Country Shape Media is here. I know that you like to.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
He only gouge eyes. This movie was supposed to have come out in December 1980. It should have never come out.
Yeah, you hear about all these movies that got stuck on shelves and were never going to be released that needed to be released. Platoon is one of them. People don't know that it actually sat on a shelf for a few years before it got released. And thank God it did get released because it's a classic film. But some films should never have been released. And this is one of them.
Hey, Mike! We have the comic relief crusader among us.
Hey, you know, in adapting IP.
Now he's among us.
Hey, dudes!
Go! In adapting IP from another
That's right.
medium.
Your favorite bitch is here. And why is that?
Bitch.
That's right. Robo bitch.
Did you get it?
Hey,
did you get it?
A job. I got
yes!
a job.
Yeah!
You are now looking at a person who they've hired to handle very dangerous chopping things and whatnot as an
They trust you
arborist
with
in
that,
training.
Mike?
Yes, they are so insane and they are gravely mistaken. And I pity them all. Yeah, 22 an hour with right trees and
white trees.
Right. Well, I could have said white, but it's right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't want to seem racist or anything like that.
No.
And I start on the 27th. So
Congratulations.
yeah, thanks, man. I gotta wait for the piss test that I gotta take.
What?
And
So who do you want? Who do you want to give your sample? I mean, should you use Martin's this time? Do you want Gary's? What?
yeah.
Oh, you're not asking us to take the test for you. Okay, I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, anybody can take a trip up to Canada. I'd love to see you guys. So
Using a female sample can get really wrong.
That can't get wrong.
No, because I can just identify as female, silly.
You can identify as female, but you can't identify as pregnant. So if that should
Yes, he can. Yes, she can.
Yes,
she can.
Yes, you bigot.
Only in the US.
They can menstruate. They can do that.
Yeah. Oh man, no, I actually, I'm not trying to steal the. Well, maybe a little bit, but kind of trying to steal the show. But no, because I had one interview actually this morning. It would have worked in a kind of like a hardware, backstage kind of shop would work, stuff like that. That would have been $16 an hour, and up here that would have been no way to raise a family on so little money. So I would have taken the job regardless, if everything else would have fallen through, because when you're a family man, exactly, doesn't matter, right? So you do what you can to keep your family going. And they said they'd let me know by Friday, and a lot of other people said, well, we'll let you know by Friday. And it seems like, well, I'm taking this one, so doesn't matter. However, if one other place that I applied to that needed a graphic designer that pays $35 an hour, well, maybe, yeah. So,
dude, I hope that comes through, because I feel, every job that I actually would have liked doing that I applied to rejected me, including working at a pet store, because they have more suitable people.
Yeah, I know, right?
Suitable.
Yeah.
Suitable.
What the fuck? I'm basically a pet nurse at this point with everything Loki went through. But there are better people than me to work selling stuff for pets. Yeah. Sure.
That's true.
Go fuck yourselves.
Exactly.
But hey,
Mike,
have you watched this movie, and what do you think about it?
I watched the one that came out a few years ago. I didn't watch the one from 81.
2013 with Johnny Depp.
Yeah, you know what? That one I kind of thought, I know a lot of people kind of bagged on it, but you know what? I kind of enjoyed it.
It was entertaining to watch. It was too long, though. The frame story with the little boy made no sense, and Johnny Depp just played Jack Sparrow.
I will give you that. Yes, it did seem to drag on for a little bit.
It made sense to me.
What, the frame
It
story?
did make sense to me, though. The whole thing with the little boy and the time period made perfect sense to me.
How?
Because that's the year the Green Hornet came out.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Okay, I'm missing context there.
Okay. Okay, Gary didn't explain it to you.
I did tell her that.
The Lone Ranger is the great grand uncle of the Green Hornet.
Oh, that's right.
He doesn't. I explained this, but she doesn't know the Green Hornet.
No, I don't. So I can't make that
pointless.
connection. To me, it's just that you can take that whole frame story out, and it doesn't take anything away from the movie.
Because I told her who the Green Hornet was to the Lone Ranger, and she was like, "Who?" And I went, "Okay, another day."
Yeah.
Guys, we have Tom Baker expressing some feelings here. He says, more Belgians should join this chat. I feel lonely. So, you know what that means.
Well, Tom, oh no.
You know what
no!
that...
No!
Do it, Martin, do it.
Do it.
So worry and sad
On Tom.
I'm so
Rory. So Rory.
It's the only good thing about this movie. I'm just saying.
No, but all in all, I thought the 2013 movie, I thought it was a fun movie. It wasn't too bad, and I I kind of wish that there was another one.
Me too. I really do believe that the reason why they started that movie the way that they did was to kind of basically go that direction, because there's really no other reason
Yeah.
to have started the movie during that time period and do the whole thing with the kid, unless they were going to try to somehow connect the Green Hornet into everything. Because you didn't need it. Seriously. You could have just started the movie, told the story, in and out, bada bing, bada boom, Bob your uncle. But they decided not to do that. So
those dumb schmucks.
And I'd like to think that if you have the rights to Lone Ranger, that would probably kind of include the Wanted.
Oop.
But
I gotta go. I got a call coming through, and it might be about work. So, see ya.
Bye.
See you, buddy.
Bye, Mike.
In and out. We love our comedian.
Again, look, Disney doesn't need any more IPs. As far as I'm concerned, they can stop right now. They got enough. Because they can't seem to do anything with the ones they already own.
Mm-hmm.
And I am still very worried about the Buffy series. I don't think I'd be as worried, but Disney's connected. So, yeah.
Hello, Lisa.
Welcome back, Lisa. She found us a couple shows ago. One of our newest members.
Well, Lisa, it's good to make your acquaintance. But yeah, it's this. Look, I think we can all agree that this was not a film that a lot of us enjoyed. And considering how old, at least I was when this film came out, I can definitely say that it was pretty much aimed at me, and I just wasn't digging it.
They just made every mistake that they could.
Basically, it's almost like somebody had to pay off, a debt or a bet, to make this movie. Because,
oops,
we lost Keith.
Bad connection.
Did you say bat connection?
Yeah.
He had a bad connection all the time.
Did you say bat connection?
No, he said black connection.
Did you say black connection?
No, that was me.
Martin, you're a racist. I'm so sorry, everyone. I had no idea we had hired the racist.
What are we doing here? 10 little Indians? Like we're going down one by one.
The Latin guy who is the son of a black man is racist. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Black people can be racist too,
To that, I'm gonna salute this animal.
How dare you?
I dare.
Yeah. But oh man, I hope he gets.
I made Gambit laugh.
Black. Oh my god.
If it makes people happy, I'd go as inappropriate as I have to. It's what we do here.
Yeah. What's the matter if everybody decides to? I am a racist because of a joke you made. That. Especially when I'm traveling my visa.
Oh, I am too. You know that. I've been working on my visa for half a year now.
Me too.
Do they make you pay an arm, a leg, and a kidney too?
Well, not that much the exchange rate, but yeah, I've been working on this since last year. So yeah, like 6, maybe 7 months. But at last, I'm seeing results.
Yeah, we are waiting.
Yes,
the ministry has our papers. I paid the agency and I paid the fee for the visa, which is like 1.6K in total, I think. And there's like more coming for the green card because they're like, oh, so you live here now and you need to make money? Yeah, that's going to cost you another 2K and probably going to take a year. Yeah, it's.
Gambit Willow's kid he has a proverbial bad connection, and we're hoping that he can get back in.
I mean, we are close to the end of the show, so he probably won't try. Also, oh, there he is.
No, he's here. He's here.
Sorry, got booted. Anyway,
no, you said you got some booty.
That's a good reason to go.
Oh, jeez.
I love when he does that. Oh, jeez.
The good thing we're friends, Gary.
I know, right? What the fuck?
Anyway, I do have to go. I gotta check on the grandson.
Go be the world's most awesome granddad.
I'm trying my best.
You are. We all want you as granddad.
Well, today we're gonna tell him this little story about a ship that's sailing the stars and its captain, James T. Kirk.
Nice.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm trying to get into TNG, Keith.
I'm gonna raise him right on Star Trek.
Yeah, I'm trying to watch TNG and having my problems with it, but
first 2 seasons are a slog.
Yeah, that's what everybody tells me, and I'm like 3 episodes into season 2, and I'm hating Will Wheaton's character because he's a teenage know-it-all who shouldn't be on the bridge, and I just can't warm up to the concept of the counselor. It's so goofy.
It'll get better. Trust me, it will get better. But
I will keep going.
I think
if I don't have anything to do, I'll put them on.
I think the Next Generation holds the record for the most number of writers.
Oh.
Because they hired and fired a whole lot of people in the first 2 seasons. There are some people, if you go online and look it up, there are some people who only worked on 1 episode. They were there, got hired, wrote 1 episode, got fired. And the next, look, this is the part of the Next Generation story that not a lot of people tell. You hear about how, a lot of the old fans didn't like it, and they were down on the show, blah, 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 blah. What you don't hear is they had a lot of problems behind the scenes with the writers. They couldn't figure out what the show was. They had no idea what the show was. And they didn't exactly figure it out until the 3rd season. Of course, now, you also have to add in that they had a writer's strike that delayed the 2nd season.
It caused so many problems that they ended up taking scripts from the original Star Trek Phase 2 that was going to be, instead of the movie Star Trek the Motion Picture, they wrote out a series. And so what they ended up doing was taking some of those episodes, because they were already written, and adapted them for the next gen, including one of my favorites is the one where Data, who originally supposed to be Spock, acts as judge advocate to judge whether a contract is still binding with this character calling itself this thing, which is basically the devil, that it made a deal with the people. And it's a really Devil and Daniel Webster kind of fucking story. with the next gen. And I really thought it worked. I thought it was a really good story.
The child was good, more emotional than anything. Although that was originally written to be Ilea, who was getting pregnant rather than Troy, because Troy as a character hadn't been invented yet.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that the characters of Deanna Troi and William Riker were William Decker.
Yep,
Will Decker, the captain of the Enterprise from Star Trek The Motion Picture, and Ilea is Deanna Troi. That's the same characters.
Yeah, Star Trek The Motion Picture is Star Trek The Next is the base model for Star Trek The Next Generation. That's it.
Yep.
Even down to the clothes. Even down to the clothes. The kind of pajama-like clothes, yeah, they continued that on for The Next Generation.
They too look like pajamas.
Yeah.
And whatever wet he's wearing is ridiculous. I mean, at least he got rid of the stupid sweater from season 1. And is in kind of a uniform. It still looks stupid. I'm sorry.
Well,
you remember the first scene of the first episode of season 1 when they're in the engineering section with the warp drive, and you see the guy with a dress.
Yeah, yeah. The guy with the skirt on. Yeah, yeah. That's all part of the weirdness of the first 2 seasons of the show. And I think the show that beat The Next Generation for the most writers hired and fired was Roseanne. And that's saying something, considering how many people got hired and fired as writers for The Next Generation. Because I think the record was 15.
Wow.
And I think Roseanne beat it with over 20.
Holy shit.
There was a season where Roseanne and her then husband, Tom Arnold, fired all the writers. They just walked in the room one day and fired everybody.
I haven't watched a lot of
They were like Oprah Winfrey. You get fired. You get fired.
And I think one of the people they got fired was Joss Whedon.
Huh.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, I don't care for him as a person, but he's got talent. And he is a third-generation writer. And there's a reason why he made it as far as he did. He is talented. I just don't think he has earned the right, though, to be anything more than a script doctor now. He completely screwed himself because he was given chance after chance to come back, and he didn't take it. That last interview he did was really his opportunity to just basically say, look, I effed up. I messed up badly. I did some really crazy stuff. And instead, he just sort of like, yeah, the people didn't like me and they were jealous of my dad. Like, dude, you got to learn to read the room, man. You got to learn to read the room.
Is that something you can learn, though?
Oh, yeah. Joss Whedon does have talent. Okay. But he's just too full of himself. His ego is out of control.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the only reason why somebody would say the kind of stuff that he ended up saying and not really realize, there are people who worked with him who are discussing some really bad stuff. And at the very least, if you can't at least recognize that you may have done some stuff wrong,
you should be big enough to
even
do
though
that,
you're a showrunner, that doesn't give you the right to make somebody cry. You can disagree with how somebody wrote something, but you shouldn't be enough of a horse's back end to make somebody cry and then, make light of it. And that's just with the writers we work with.
All right. I'm going to end the show here. Let's wrap this shit up. I'll get, because a lot of you haven't seen the finished previous 2 pages. So I'm going to go ahead and pull them up real quick so you guys can see that.
I'm surprised you're working on that current panel. I thought that was finished.
No.
By adding his helmet.
No.
I didn't know you still at work.
Oh my God, no. Boy, the things you think are complete that aren't. There's still a lot of work that needs to be done. These 2 pages are done. All I have to do is the word bubbles. So 96, drop the words down. You see the artwork. 90, that's 97. Here's 97. Keith, gone?
Well, he had to go anyway.
Yeah.
And we held him for like a couple more minutes.
He went to check on the baby.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I like the fast
That's
rope.
96 is done. 97 is done. And 98 is almost done. I just got to show, and that's why I'm doing these angles to make sure the angle is correct of it going into his ass and coming out his crotch.
Ouch!
Yep. Look at his face. Now you know why.
Ouch, man.
All right, Gary, you in front of
You're
his face.
mean.
There you go. There you go. That is why he looks so miserable. Backdoor breach and dick shot off in the same bullet. I like that.
You two are so mean.
Yeah, I know.
That's that.
That's part of why he loves me. I dig this shit. I find it funny.
I like the fact that he comes down and he doesn't shoot the first 3 guys. He boot hammers one guy in the face, grabs the other guy by the hair and pulls him back and lands on top of him because he fast ropes down and causing that guy to discharge a round, shooting the other guy in the crotch.
Okay. Oh, he's weighed with another breach. Backdoor mission success.
So here we go.
Pam, why do you have underpants with a Swiss flag on them?
Swiss? Those aren't Swiss. Those are, they're from the Red Cross. They're defective. Anyway, me safe house, A2 safe house. I'm gonna check the back door.
Yeah, that guy from the panel, he needs to go to the Red Cross.
How does that sit with you, Martin? Because the quote is "Mi casa es su casa," right?
Yeah, mi casa
Not
es su casa.
tu casa. And she says two safe house. I'm like,
you can say two if you're close enough to the person. If you have if you're close friends, you can switch to two.
Okay.
Oh, Gambit, you can do better.
That is so lazy. It's not a breach when you just say backdoor. You're not going to learn a video like that.
See, it's not that. It's this is translated to your house is my house, and what you want to say is my house is your house.
Yeah.
My
and whoever was asking,
whoever
was asking when I'm starting my own channel, I won't. This is my home. Pop Culture Minefield is my home, my YouTube home.
Yeah, Gary is the help.
I don't know if Amelia has any plans.
She took possession of the channel.
No, I didn't. I just came with my notes and tried to add to it.
What?
All right, let's get out of here.
Yep.
Much beloved movie? What?
Yeah.
He's being facetious.
So whoever wanted us to do this, thank you and fuck off.
It deserved being talked about. It earned our ire.
It was interesting to compare it to the 81 and the 2013 movie, but nah.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank everybody for being here today. Hope everybody had fun. It was a blast from the past. And hopefully, let's let this dog lie and leave it the fuck alone. And we're going to go with that. Everybody have a great day today. We'll see y'all later. See you on, what is today? I don't even know what today is. Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Right? So we'll see you
Keith is
Friday.
on tomorrow, and we are back on Friday with your birthday show, where we make you discuss E.T.
Yay! I actually know a lot about E.T. So we will get out of here, guys. Everybody have a great afternoon, and we'll see you later. Have a good hump day. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Y'all come back now, you hear?
Thank you.